the internet, welcome to this issue of the Ghostlight Social, which is a little bit different tonight because bugger off with your Skype call, because we're using a slightly different way of doing the call tonight, so bear with us a sec. I'm just going to bring Lee in.
A technical breakdown. I was like,
Where's he gone? Right, brilliant. I'm just gonna try again. Oh, I can hear Lee now. Ooh, Jesus! Let me get rid of that. Let me add in that. Oh, Jesus! What's going on?
Hold on. Old-fashioned settings, and hope it doesn't kill everything.
Right, let's just
Wait
kill
for
that.
it. Everyone might die. Hold on.
To the 3 people watching, I'm really sorry about this, because this is highly unprofessional, and we've just decided to bollocks to the new bit of kit, and we're going old school back on Skype. So there's a little bit of lag because I'm trying to close down the call we were originally on because it's taking up 1 million bandwidths of bloody thing. Turn off, you bastard. Right, I've sworn already, so fuck, shit, piss, wank.
So we're live then, Mike.
That's exactly what I've just been trying to...
Awesome. It's really good. Right, okay. So our at the moment our guests don't have to worry because they're not on. Is that correct, Michael?
That is correct. They will be able to be heard because the audio from the Skype call is transmittable because you're on the Skype call, so we need to be able to hear you.
So like the opposite of a good child, they will be heard and not seen for now.
Yes. I mean, you're building this up like we've got, I don't know, Prince Harry on or something. Not that our guests aren't delightful, but you're kind of building it up.
Well, that's all right. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Good. I need to shut that down. Michael, have you got anything to share before we kick off?
I was going to share another trailer, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, don't bother. What was it a trailer for?
It was for a film with what's the guy's name? He played
Deadshot. It's a good story already, Mike.
Joe Manganiello.
That's him.
Yeah. Where he is an old. He's basically Logan. The Wolverine movie. It's that where he's an old bum, basically, living on the streets, and he befriends this kid, and he tells this kid he used to have superpowers. And it's a little bit ambiguous whether he did or is just a crazy man. But then it just turns into this massive Joe Manganiello dressed as a tramp beating people up thing. It looks amazing.
Right. Well, that's a shame we've missed that.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
I was gonna share the fact that I applied for the BFI Directors Laboratory.
Oh yes.
I applied for that. I sent in a wonderful application, I thought, detailing why I met because it's one of those things where I don't fit much criteria, being over 40. It's all aimed at kind of kids, so whenever there is something for an open-ended age group, I'm like, yeah, I'll have a go at that. So I went for it. There were 5 spots, and there were about 500 people applied for it, and I got a nice email saying no. Basically.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. Never mind, there's always next year, isn't there?
Yeah, of course there is. We hope so.
Yeah.
We hope we're going to have next year, but who knows?
Chances are, touch wood, next year we might be able to do it in person and not direct a film on Zoom, which is what essentially I think we're going to do.
I assume you won't be doing that anyway because you'll be retraining, won't you? We'll all be retraining as.
No,
I'm not sure what as.
He didn't actually say that.
What? Oh, you shut up, Matt. I'll come to you in a minute.
What would you retrain as, Lee?
Sued by Rishi Sunak.
No, that is one of my first questions to the guests. So let's get them in because I very specifically asked Matthew to be not heard and not seen, and he couldn't help himself, could he? He just couldn't help himself. Yeah. So do you want? Should we bring the guests in, Mike?
I'm bringing them in now, but I'm having to redo all my shots live on air because we abandoned the other software. So I'm sorry about that.
Be all right.
So yeah, they're in.
Right. We are very, very lucky this week. This is. Were we live last week as well or not?
No, because you texted me at 3:00 and went, "Can you stick an old show on?"
Yeah.
I don't know what it was because I don't think football went on, was it?
Was football on?
I don't know because I know one week you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm really busy," and then later on you were tweeting about Leeds playing, and I was like,
that may just have been coincidence. I don't know.
Yeah.
It may have been. We're very lucky. Are our guests in, Mike?
Yes, they have been for about 10 minutes now.
We have the lovely Anita and the lovely Matthew with us. Hello, both of you.
Hello, Lee. Hi.
How are you?
Hello, Anita.
Hello, Matthew. You're all right.
Yeah.
Good.
Anita meet Matthew. Matthew meet Anita.
Yeah, I thought that's what we were going to do earlier, and then I didn't get a chance to actually say.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
We got as far as I don't think you two have ever met, so we'll just leave it there.
Well, we might as well have left it there because we can do that now, can't we?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, in front of all the people on the internet.
Yeah. But before we get into it proper, I do want to ask, and I'll start with you, Anita, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Mike's great question. If you had to we have to retrain because that's what good old Rishi told us to do. So, shut up, Matt. It spoils the question. What are you going to retrain as?
I'm going to do absolute. I'm going to carry on doing what I'm doing because there's nothing else I know what to do. I don't know how to do anything else. I just have no other skill set. So my skill set is this. That's it. I don't cook. I'm not very good at cleaning. I do what I do, and that's it. So I'm not doing anything. I'm staying as it is. That's it.
Do you not cook? See,
I do. I'm getting better. My husband's a much better cook than me. So, but since we've been in lockdown, I've done a bit of baking, and I can. If I shove everything into a pot, it's fine. But don't ask me to do a roast dinner or anything. I can cook spaghetti bolognese. That's enough. That's all you need.
Absolutely. In fact, I would say don't throw everything in a pot. And the reason I'm saying that is because yesterday, I put a load of stuff in the slow cooker. I put some chicken in and some potatoes and some carrots and some other bits and pieces. And my wife woke up at 6 o'clock-ish, and I heard her get up, and then I heard her go downstairs. And then, you're half asleep. And then I woke up and I could smell something. And I thought, oh, no, the dog has done a poo. Right. And so I said, I went, Rachel, what, has the dog done a poo? And she went, well, I can't see anything. So I went down and had a look. There was nothing. Turns out it was the chicken casserole in the slow cooker that actually smelled like dog shit.
Oh.
What did you put in this casserole?
It tasted quite nice. It honestly,
isn't it like 70% of your taste is the smell or something though?
Yeah, well, I think it was marinating or something because the smell did get better. But I'm not.
I mean,
gonna.
It's not a high bar for something to get better from actual dog shit.
Yeah, but let me just make it clear. It wasn't actual dog shit.
But it just smelled of it.
Yeah.
Just the scent of.
Yeah.
I've already done a bit of retraining. I don't know, about 5 years ago. So I'm not doing it anymore. I'm refusing. So that's it.
That is fair enough, and I'm going to come back to that in a moment. But Matt, what are you going to retrain as? Because Rishi Sunak told us all to retrain. So what are you retraining as?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I can do other things, but most of them I don't think I can be bothered to do. Like, I don't think I'd have the energy to do them anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I can plaster.
Oh, okay.
But
all right.
Can I be bothered plastering 5 days a week? Because that's a tough gig. That's like proper work. And I don't think I've done proper work for a long time now.
No. You've got to stop saying proper
No.
work.
Yeah. I mean graft, though. Can I say graft instead of proper work? Like, and that's not to say occasionally, like very occasionally, I'll do a long day or it feels like a lot of effort. But like physical graft is not. If I do a 20 minutes, as I learned yesterday, if I do a 20-minute workout now, I am in pain for the next 24 hours. Likewise, if I play football now, if I play football for an hour, I'm just dead. The next day, I can't move. So I don't know. It'd have to be something that took very little physical stamina. Maybe
like Chancellor of the Exchequer, that sort of thing.
Yeah, just throwing out sound bites and being really insensitive. Yeah. I can do that. I'm really good at being insensitive.
Perfect. Michael, what are you retraining as?
Sorry, I just had to move the camera. I was just putting a comment up from Dale. Dale's just joined us, just as you were talking about dog shit.
No, you weren't. You were having a smoke on your crack pipe, is what you were doing. Because I can see you in the bottom of my screen.
But while I thought I was having that while I took the opportunity while I was sorting out comments.
Right.
I'm trying to retrain to be bloody creative. I've had enough. I spent 10 years as a shitting business analyst for O2. I ain't doing that shit again. Bollocks to it.
What does a business analyst do, Michael?
Good question.
My particular, because there's lots of variations, lots of flavours.
Spreadsheets. You're good at spreadsheets. You could do the track and trace thing.
That really annoyed me yesterday. And this shows you how ingrained this shit gets into you. So, like, everybody will go, oh, what are you doing in Excel? Excel. And I'm like, yeah, because Excel's designed for that shit. Every piece of software that you use for Analyst will spit out a report in Excel. You're just a lunatic for not knowing how to use it, knobhead. It's like the sat-nav. The sat-nav is only as good as the person programming it. And Excel is only as good as the analyst using it. And Matt Hancock, with a shit name like that, you wanker, hasn't got the right... Serco, I used to look after Serco's phones for O2. They are a right set of knobheads. Tell you. That's the job of an analyst. Is to shout at Serco. No, my job was I used to do process change. So I used to look at how people did their job, and I used to find ways they could do it more effectively. So there was lots of time analysis and productivity analysis and that kind of.
Which knowing you
shit
is hilarious, really, isn't it?
And I saved £10 million in a year for O2.
Yeah, interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
How lazy were all the workers at O2? How lazy were all the workers at O2?
I mean, it was the corporate bit, so there weren't a lot of, you'd speak to maybe one or two people who were the same. It was like they had contacts, so you'd just sit on the phone for half an hour chatting.
Yeah.
And we put a stop to that and saved £10 million.
Very good.
Chat.
Yeah, do it by email. You can't chat on that.
It's impressive. So Matt, you were saying that he didn't actually say that. So what did he actually say? Come on, stick up for this Tory government. Go on.
No, no. I'm never going to stick up for this Tory government because they should be out as soon as possible. But do you know what? It's generally bothering me now how quickly, and I have to keep checking stuff. Like I'll read a load of comments on Twitter, and now I have to stop myself from also commenting and go, right, I need to find out the actual. Like I want the quote.
Oh, don't be reasonable about it. You've just got to retweet. And just get more angry.
No, because because you know what? I don't want to be the one apologising to Rishi Sunak at the end of it, which was that. Thankfully, after I followed that whole rabbit hole, I eventually got to a point where people who were originally commenting, going, "This man is an utter prick. Like, how dare he say this?" were eventually saying, "Okay, maybe he didn't say that," and I think he wanted to say that, but
I would have said, looking at the interview, that's
dressing it up in broader terms.
I think the interviewer was trying to get it out of him, wasn't he? He was pushing for that answer.
Yeah, because I think actually what's much worse is he wasn't just having a pop at the arts. Like, he was just having a pop at everyone. It was like, none of you should complain. You should all just find another job, which is no better. But it was kind of, I think people were desperate for it to just be about the arts because they wanted him to be a hater of the art. I don't think he is. I think he quite likes the arts. I think he just doesn't understand how it works.
I'd say one thing that amused me today.
Which is difficult. It's difficult to comprehend that, isn't it, from the Chancellor of the Exchequer? It's just a bit.
When it brings in billions per year, you not have an understanding of the concept of the creative world that we live in. If it brings in that much revenue, surely.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those.
I've struggled with this, trying to find out exactly how much it brings in, because there are some there's some book cooking going on, because there are people going, the arts brings in 160 billion every, and it's like, well, it does if you class graphic design and like, if you're very, I'm saying this, probably offending every graphic designer in the world, but like if you're putting together some poster art as part of your job for a bigger company, I'm not convinced that's really fundamentally working in the arts. But
hang on a minute, because I would argue yes, it is, because without those venues, and it's the same for, you think about the West End. We've had this conversation quite a lot. You think about the West End. It's not just the theatres, is it? It's the restaurants around it.
Yeah.
It's the news agents, it's all that rely on that tourism, and whether it be local or international tourism coming in, and so there is an argument to say it's probably even bigger than that.
Yeah, that's why it's really hard to get the numbers, and that's why it ranges from like 80 billion to 180 billion. But even 80 billion, it's still like that's not a drop.
It's still one of the biggest sectors in this country.
Yeah. It doesn't matter whether it's 1 billion or 150 billion. A billion is a shitload of money, isn't it? And it needs to be understood, and we need to, you should have an understanding of that and how it works and how it affects everybody.
Yeah. And also, just like, I mean, the bit that hasn't got a financial value is just like the identity, the British identity that goes along with that, because it's one of our main exports, because we export very little else. Like, that's part of the British brand as much as the Queen is. Or you go, well, the drama we produce, the comedy we produce, the artwork that's produced, we're renowned for that. So if you don't keep that up, what the hell are we renowned for?
It's like there's a reason why Hollywood comes here. And there's a little bit to do with tax breaks, but Hollywood comes to Pinewood, to Shepperton, to all these places, because since the 60s, I think, is probably when the kind of idea started that the best technicians, the best art department heads are in this country, and we
best
train
graphic design.
Yeah,
apparently
best graphic designers. And we train the best people, those technicians, to a higher standard than most other places. So they all come here.
Well, it's like Alessia was saying on the last show. She went to recently, last year, I think it was. She went to study at the Stella Adler Academy in LA, and the very first thing that they said was, "Why are you here? The British are the best at this. Why have you come here?" Anyway, look, we could continue talking about that.
Just one last thing about Rishi Sunak is I saw a photograph of him today, which made me howl with laughter. As you imagine, Rishi Sunak is like a 6'2", lean, kind of really fit bloke, and then there's a photograph of him on the steps of number 11. Imagine? Well, because when he's on telly, it looks like he goes to the gym.
Oh, I see.
Stop trying to.
He has got quite a muscular neck.
Yeah, and he looks like he's well built, right?
I don't think I can imagine him from about there down. I don't think.
I think this is where my next point comes in, because there's a photograph of him on number 11 holding his case out with a couple of other ministers, and he's the shortest one. He looks about 4'2". You tower above him, Lee.
All right.
The one per episode. He does.
Absolutely not necessary.
He proper looks like he should have clown trousers on and come out of a little car.
Yeah. Anyway, listen. Before we went on air, you said, "Can we keep this under 2 hours, please?" And you're now rabbiting on. Right.
It's because this is my third one of these so far today. I'm a little bit hyper.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Right. Okay. So before we get into questions proper, Anita, I'll start with you if that's all right. Have you got a song for our isolation playlist?
Yeah, my favourite song, and probably what people know me best for, is Superstition, Stevie Wonder.
Love it. Love it. We haven't got Superstition, have we? I can't spell it.
No, it's
so
an absolute
can't spell anything.
I can't spell it. Listen, I am honestly spelling. Oh my God, it's
you know what's funny? Side note: after you trying to spell weird on a board the other day, which is just, by the way, everyone, is not spelled WERIE.
That is not how I spelled it. That is not how I spelled it. I got the I before E, except after C. Apart from in weird.
Or Keith, or
do you know?
There's loads of them.
Keith.
I want to say there are more words in the English language where it is the other way around than it is I before E.
Yeah, but most of them are after C.
They're not though. This one on QI, it's true.
It's just not my fault.
But anyway, yeah. So just to add to that side note, and not to extend this much further, but yeah, I came back home because, and this is to make the whole world knowledgeable about this, that Lee's wife teaches my eldest son. I came home and said, "Do you know how to spell weird?" And he just went WEIRD.
What a shame that Rachel doesn't teach me.
Yeah, that's what it showed me, was that's the relationship there. She didn't even, she wanted to correct you in the room, but she didn't correct you in the room.
Oh, I see. Yeah, well, absolutely. But having said that, I think everybody here is married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How often do you have spelling tests with your partners? Is it something that you do
every Thursday?
Oh God.
I'm married to a primary school teacher. It's every day.
We had it in his vows. That was it. Must do spelling every day.
Brilliant. So going back, Superstition. So why Superstition?
Because I like to dance to it. It makes me want to dance. It makes me happy. It's got like the best bass line ever, and it's just funky and fabulous.
Excellent. That will do for me. It's also one of it's a song that we spoke about on a few episodes ago, because we had Jez Willis from the Utah Saints, and in my previous life when I ran nightclubs, Jez and Tim used to run our Saturday nights, and essentially what happened was Jez would do the set up until 12 o'clock, and then Tim would take over, and then a guest or whatever would come on, and the very last song that he played every single Saturday night was that song. You could set your clock by it. You'd hear it come on, you go 3 minutes to 12. Yeah.
I defy anybody not to at least move a little bit to it, or tap the foot, or nod the head. It's impossible.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely going on. Thank you. Right, Matt, come on, what have you got?
Well, I was struggling between, because I'm a big fan of really sad music. I love listening to a sad song. But
are we talking Katie Melua sad?
And she got lovely hair. That's what we say every time she comes on. She's like Granny's favourite, isn't she, Katie Melua? No, properly sad, like Leonard Cohen sad.
Oh, okay.
But worse than that, like even lower.
All right.
Like stuff you listen to in the dark and just cry. That's what I like doing.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's probably not what I've been doing, because you said like lockdown song.
Yeah.
And I have been listening to just upbeat stuff because I feel crap most of the time.
Right. So it's okay to have a down low song if that's what you want.
Yeah, let me put a really low one in there because it's so sad. It's tragically sad. There's a song called Mid-Air by Paul Buchanan.
Mid-Air,
which is just
MIDAIR.
Yeah.
CUNT.
C-bomb, spelling out the C-bomb.
Yeah. Sorry, Mum. It's all right. My mum can't spell either. It's all right. That's where I get it from. What can I tell you? So, Midair by who?
Paul Buchanan.
Paul Buchanan.
He's like a...
He sounds like a lorry driver.
He's not.
What are you doing? Are you going to release this album of tunes then, Lee and Mike? Is this what you're going to...
Did I not send you the link to the actual playlist?
No.
On the YouTube, on the YouTube channel, every time somebody adds us, we just add it to the bottom, so it's now a huge playlist.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
It's going to be a real downer when it gets to that.
It is, isn't it?
I think every playlist needs one of those, though, doesn't it? You need that kind of reset. Kind of go, I'm too happy. I need to cry.
I'm too happy. Nobody's too happy at the moment.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. My 2-year-old's too happy. After about 6 hours, you're just like,
supposed to be happy.
Oh, no, it's nice. I like the fact that she's happy. But
Yeah.
that's the point where you stick Hey Dougie on, because you know she'll just sit still for 7 minutes.
Hey, I'll sit still and watch it. Hey, Dougie.
It's ace. I love it.
That's one of the greatest children's TV programs ever made, I think.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
That's a statement.
Hey,
Wow.
well,
Okay.
now I can retract my, previous assertion about graphic designers, because it's graphically beautiful.
Yeah.
It is lovely.
Yeah. Okay, Midair by Paul Buchanan. Obviously, I can't spell Buchanan. No clue.
I know that.
It's like, spell it like Neil Buchanan.
Brilliant. that's
It's just
really
the right art attack.
That sounds funny.
Yeah.
While we're on
And,
graphic design.
Superstition. Excellent. Good. All right. So, staying with you then, Matt. What's the most coronavirus thing you've done?
DIY, probably. A lot of DIY.
Okay, that's boring. Anita, what's the most?
Coronavirus thing I've done. I've Zaflorid everything, even envelopes.
You've done what?
Zaflorid. You know Zaflora, the disinfectant?
And what envelopes that come through the door?
Zaflorid. I just Zaflora everything.
Now, Zaflora is that thing that smells like old people's homes, isn't it?
Well, I won't go that far, Lee. It's got some nice smells, but
Has it?
yeah, there's some nice.
Oh, maybe we did get the wrong one.
Yeah. Are you getting Fabulosa from
TCP.
B&M or somewhere like that?
With chicken casserole, Lee.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what I put in it instead. Okay, so envelopes. How did that work? What have you got, like a spray thing?
Well, I've got multiple things. I've got multiple, Zafloras and sprays and Dettol, what have you. So sometimes I spray them. Sometimes I've got a wet cloth and I wipe them over. And
how does that work with paper envelopes?
They get wet.
Yeah.
But they dry.
You also said at the top of the show, you said you weren't very good at cleaning.
No, but I like to Zaflora things. I like everything to be disinfected. So as long as it's quick, I can do that. I am a bit lazy. I have got a cleaner who comes in a couple of hours a week.
Oh.
Still, have you still got a cleaner?
That's the luxury.
I've been really busy. She's cheap. She's 76.
She's how old?
She's
Yeah.
76.
I mean,
76 and grafting, and Matt, you're worried about, you're like, I can't be bothered to.
I mean, at 76, you can pay her in old money.
She's absolutely amazing.
I mean,
so she used the cleaner for the Guinness family up in Southport. And she's come back. She found a boyfriend, moved into our area, and wanted a bit of cleaning work. And she's fabulous. So she comes in, and obviously during lockdown, she didn't come when we were obviously in the height of it all. But I thought, well, she loves it and she enjoys it, and it gets her out. So
You're doing her a favour. You're doing her a favour.
Nothing. I hate this bathroom. Can't be doing with. But yeah, and we have a good chat and a cup of tea. And
I'm not sure whether I need to send this off to safeguarding. 76, it just feels a bit exploitative.
It's an age concern.
Yeah.
No,
do you still have to?
She didn't come and do it.
Do you, if they're over 75, do you still have to pay them minimum wage?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think so?
Look into it.
She just asked for what she asked for, and she's happy. Honestly, I'm not paying her a quid or anything.
I don't want to patronise her by paying her properly.
Yeah.
Let her have what she asks for.
Yeah, a cup of tea, a slice of cake, and a natter.
If that's what she wants.
But no, honestly, she's my life. She's like my lifesaver. She's my godsend. I love her to bits. Jackie.
Oh, Jackie.
Tanya's in. Hello, Tanya.
Hello, Tanya. Hello, Dale. I didn't say hello to Dale. Dale does a little bit of graphic designing, I think, as part of his business, doesn't he?
He does.
So
Yeah,
maybe
he's talented geezer.
Thrilled, Matt.
Yeah. He's making friends all over the place, is Matt.
Again, I am renowned for it.
Doing that, I'm exploiting old people. I mean, God,
We're doing well.
God.
We should go into politics. We do really well.
Really well. So tell us about the DIY.
No, you said it was boring. I'm not going to tell you. No.
Look, we've had 7 minutes on an old lady cleaning. Come on.
Now I've just done all the stereotypical stuff that loads of other people did, like completely re-landscape the back garden,
Did that.
built a wall, turfed, built raised bed, just did everything I could think of to do in the back garden, and then moved into the house and then just started doing stuff here. Put a loft hatch in,
Nice.
Boarded out the loft,
One with a ladder hatch.
One with a ladder, yeah.
Did you have to open it up? Because I'm thinking about doing that. Did you have to open it up?
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, do you know what? I did that really stupid thing. You know, there's I don't know, there's like famous cartoon about the where the bloke sat on the branch, cutting the other side of the branch. Yeah. And I did that stupid thing of like, because you have to. This is really dull now, isn't it?
Come on, make it quick. Make it quick.
Oh, you just hit that point and you're boring yourself. And the ceiling joists, right?
Yeah.
So you have to like attach beams across them.
Yeah.
So they don't fall to bits when you cut a middle one out. Yeah. So you pick 3 joists. Anita's looking like she's going to sleep. You pick 3 joists and then you put a piece of wood across, spanning the 3. Screw that together so then you can cut out that middle bit to make the big hole. So so I did that, attached the 2 bits, started cutting around, and got as far as like holding the middle bit, cutting through that last bit, and properly went through with the. And if it hadn't been for me quickly grabbing onto the bit of wood I'd just screwed there, I'd have dropped 8 foot from. Yeah.
It's good. Love it. Love it. Yeah.
Now I'm stupid as well.
But you didn't fall, and it was fine.
Yeah, I heroically stopped myself.
It was fine. That's good. That's an impressive bit of DIY. It's not a shit bit. That's an impressive bit.
Yeah, it's cutting a hole in it. Really, it's cutting a hole.
Well, it is, but hopefully your roof is sufficiently supported still.
Yes, there are cracks. But...
well.
I'm reliably informed it's just settling.
Yeah,
fair enough. Okay, I can't remember what the next question is, but I think it is. I'll stay with you, Matt. What was before lockdown? What was the last thing you said to a live audience or a camera?
Well, to a camera would probably have just been like a self tape, and it. I was racking my brain earlier just trying to think of what was just before, because I was just booked in for a load of fairly dull police assessment work before, but I know I had a couple of adverts that I did self tapes for, so it was probably for one of them.
All right.
You know the score there. It was probably something really pathetic. I probably just had to make up some twaddle. Pretending to chat to my family over a dinner or something naff like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know the sketch. What was the last character called that you played?
Didn't really have a name. Taxi driver was the. We were working on just before lockdown. It was working with Mad Dog Dance. It's a bloke called Dougie who used to work for Phoenix, and Rod Dixon was directing for it. And it was just a chance for me to do some dancing again, because I am a dancer. That's what I am.
I did not know you were a dancer.
I am a ballet dancer. Yeah, can you not tell?
You're a ballet dancer.
Yeah, I'm fully trained.
Actually, you're taking the piss.
No, I'm being genuinely serious. Like, that is, yeah. For like 13 years of my life, I trained as a ballet dancer.
Trained ballet dancer. Oh.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, like seriously got to the age of 15, 16 and thought that might be what I wanted to do. And it got to that point of going, like, you either decide to go down to London and live ballet for the rest of, well, not for the rest of your life, for the next 10 years till your knees give way, or do something else. And I had this chat with my ballet teacher, Miss Ruth, in which I said, I'm just not sure. And she was like, right, you're not cut out for it, not ready. You should just go. And then she just didn't want me in classes anymore. Like, just wanted me out. Yeah. So yeah. So so I didn't do much ballet after that. Came to Breton. I used to like try and sneak into some extra dance classes there. The dance teachers were pretty good at letting me just come and join in a bit of ballet or a bit of contemporary or something there. And then
I was exactly the same, you know.
Yeah. And then then I didn't get a chance to do it ever, because unless you are from the Royal Ballet or you're with the Northern Ballet, like, nobody gives you a job as a dancer. Certainly not as a bloke. So yeah, Rod knew that I was a dancer, so he called me in for this job, because he was like, yeah, it might work. You might get to do a bit of interesting dance. And it was absolutely brilliant, and it woke up a part of my brain that I hadn't used for about 20 years.
Very good. And what was it called?
It doesn't even have a title at the moment, because it was R&D basically, and he was just trying to work out what the piece was about. The basic premise was, because Dougie, who is a professional dancer, also has to work as a taxi driver, because contemporary dance doesn't pay that well.
Not at the moment. No.
But yes, he had loads of interesting stories, and he wanted to put them into a dance piece, but he didn't want it to be just dance. He wanted some acting in it. He wanted some spoken word. So yeah, by the time we'd finished the last bit of R&D, you know Ed Heaton, don't you? Yeah,
we've had Head on the show. Head Eaton has been on the show.
Yeah, so Ed and his wife were both involved. She was doing some of the writing for it, and and Rod was directing. It was pretty exciting. It was quite good, interesting work. Kind of, it felt like something different. And then, we all got told to stay indoors.
Yeah. And just tell me that you used the grid system.
The grid. I really hope Tess is watching. No, we didn't get to use the grid. No.
Oh well, never mind. There's always work with Tess. She'll work with the grid system with you. Anita, I imagine. Did you shut down at all, or did you manage to carry on?
Well, before lockdown, we were in the final week of rehearsals for Treasure Island at Derby, so I was doing voice on that, and I'd literally gone in. We were in on the Monday. Somebody had just been tested in the cast. We were waiting for that, and then I did my bit left, and then we shut, so that they were just about to go into Tech Week. So I was busy doing that. But apart from that, I kept going. Sorry, go on.
You did keep going.
Yeah, well, the show stopped, what was great was about Derby, they paid the cast as if they would done the run, so that was really great. But obviously the show didn't go on, and that was that. But I've been really, really lucky. I've managed to kind of keep going
over Zoom and.
Yeah, because I guess even beforehand, I would say 90% of my clients, if I wasn't working for a theatre company, then 90% of my clients I work via Zoom or Skype with anyway, because they can be any. I work with London or if they're abroad often. So in that respect, it hasn't felt too weird. Okay, going back to that word that you can't spell, but it hasn't felt peculiar for me, because I've been able to just carry on in the same way. What has stopped, obviously, is that there's no the client list, because obviously I work predominantly with actors.
Yeah.
The actors haven't got any work, and all the shows have stopped, all the TV shows had stopped, so that was that. But
and it's Speakeasy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that your company?
It is my company.
That's you. Yes. I wasn't sure, because I know I know somebody else who does voice, and she works, and I thought it was hers, and then it turns out it isn't. It's part of it's one of these sort of umbrella things. But anyway, but Speakeasy's you. So what? When people are not working, so when it's been locked down and stuff like that, what kind of stuff are you doing with actors?
Well, the biggest business is voiceover and audiobook narrators.
Yeah.
Because they've been able to carry on, and their business. In fact, I was talking to an audiobook narrator the other day, who I'm doing some work with, and she has been busier in lockdown than she's ever been in any year.
Wow.
Because that just keeps going. So that is for anybody who's listening who's an actor out there, that's a skill, one of those skills, and perhaps diversifying in that way rather than retraining, is using what you love but doing it in some other way that you might not have thought of, is probably the way to do it. So yeah, that's been pretty busy with that. It's just, I would say the past month, it's just started picking up for people doing self-tapes, and that again, suddenly I've got a mass flurry. I've had a lot of self-tapes, people ringing up saying, oh, I've got Jen Am to do, so that is picking up quite a bit, which is good.
And when they're doing self-tapes and things, what kind of things are you working on? What are they asking for?
Mostly is that, I've got an accent to do, so and it's the day before, and I say, so have you ever done this accent before? And they go, no. And then you're like,
some spotlight though.
I'm good, but I'm not that good. But I mean, most of them, when they short notice, is general American anyway, so that's you can sort of do. So it is mainly accent work, I would say, with self tapes, or and the other stuff. I mean, the other side of the coin is there's still lots of corporate jobs and corporate people wanting public speaking and stuff like that, but that doesn't really float my boat. Okay. So
do you do much of that though?
I do enough to be able to support the actors a little bit more reasonably. If that makes sense. I have to balance it out, because, to be honest, it makes me want to just die inside just a little bit. So it's not the same as working. Coming from an acting background, I like actors. That's what I like. I like working with them.
Now, I remember, I say speaking. I'm sure it was on social media, but you were treading back in, weren't you? At some point, are you still treading back in?
What, acting?
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? I like mentoring and coaching much more than I enjoy acting.
Okay.
I think I like doing some voiceover work occasionally, and I think I might dip my little toe into a bit of audiobook narrating and stuff, possibly. So I want to do that side, but I don't want to walk. It was Peter Hunt and Jill. It was in January, and they just said, "Oh, you're in Sheffield. We've got this. You won't go and do the read for us, would you? Just do the table read." And I was like, "Yeah, I love it." And I'm thinking, yeah. And it's always the same with me. I love getting the job. I hate doing the job. What's that all about? And until I change that mindset, I don't.
Yeah, it's not the best mindset.
Very soon again, so yeah.
I do know what you mean though, because I mean, TV's slightly different. When we're filming, it's slightly different. But opening night, at the theatre, I do, increasingly, I'm stood in the wings thinking, why am I doing this to myself? Thinking I'm about to have a heart attack. And why do I do this to myself? But then once I'm on, it's fine. So I don't know. Maybe, yeah.
I think if I'm really honest, I think I'm a better coach, and I see things much more clearly than I am an actor. I was all right. Good. I worked, but I think I'm better. I definitely think my niche is the other side. I think I'm much better. I'm good at making people be good, if that makes sense.
Good.
And I like that.
And just going back very quickly to Treasure Island, what were you doing? Accent work?
I was doing voice work actually on that.
Thought we were going to get some.
You thought you were going to get some.
Yeah, it was it was a female lead playing Silver, so it was about. Obviously, we didn't want we want a nice, strong female voice, but there was lots of things happening there. So I went in to make sure, because it was a heavy role, that she got the stamina to get through the shows. But obviously, she didn't need it in the end. So, but that's that's a lot of the job as well. Quick fixes, going in, quick fixing. What's wrong with people? Sort it out. Mm. So I encourage you all to do lots of practice in between, because that would be really lovely.
Matt, do you still do the voice work that you were told to do, or do you do any of it at all?
I do occasionally. I do only when it tends to be after I've done any teaching of it that I think, oh yeah, I should really do that myself. And then I'll keep it up for like the next couple of days, and then don't at all.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah. And recently I've been trying to, like, I bought myself a audio interface, and I've been like recording some bits of songs as well and stuff. I am knackering my voice singing my own stuff. Like, how am I going wrong singing my own crap? I could do what I wanted.
Anita can do a class with you. So
I'm not letting her listen to my songs. I'm only recording them for me. So
luckily, singing coaching is not my area. I'm much more spoken voice, so I've got loads of friends. So
yeah, I start feeling guilty, but I also get to the point where I'm sort of I start getting a bit snobby about it, and start sort of people, you can see people warming up, and I'm sort of looking at them going, okay, now come on.
Yeah, I
you know what I mean? And it's like,
it's not early.
I know. I have to have a word with myself occasionally, quite a lot actually. Good. Okay, I've just rolled up my question list. Marvelous. All right. Okay. So before we talk, we'll talk about the industry last, I think. So what I'd like to do is we'll go with favourite moment. Anita, I'll stay with you.
Oh God, favourite moment. I think I've got lots of favourite moments, but I think one of the ones where I thought, gosh, there's some amazing people out there. I was doing panto. I don't know if you've heard actor Jed McKenna. Have I come across Jed McKenna before? And somebody who's not massively famous but brilliant in their field. And actually thinking, as a young actor, I think I was 24, and just thinking, wow, this guy, this is what I've got to do. This is what I need to do, and having that realization that, wow, this is fantastic. If I can be half as good as him, that would be marvelous. But also, I've had I think the other wow moment, let's have a think. And working with Sinead Cusack as well. I'll drop a name in there. Go on.
Nice.
That was a nice moment.
Yeah. What were you doing? What was that?
Doing a feature. God, I was really young. In fact, I was doing this panto with Jed McKenna at the same time. I'm filming up in Sheffield at the same time as well. So I was in Bury St Edmunds and Sheffield, and she came in. I know, it was great. And she came in at the last minute, and she played my mother-in-law in a film called Dream, which was never released. It had a brilliant cast, it was never released. So there we are. But yeah,
Bury St Edmunds, the beautiful little, perfectly round. It's gorgeous.
The Georgian Theatre at Bury is amazing. Yeah.
It was in the David Copperfield film.
Yes,
it was.
Yeah, that's lovely.
It's a great place to play. I had 2 years there, and it was lovely.
It's interesting. It's interesting when we've asked people about favourite moments, and most people have sort of gone for the big wow moments. But I think it's really nice when you mention when you work with somebody that just sort of goes, oh, I hope I can be. And I remember being slightly intimidated. I won't say it's because they're working at the moment. You probably know who they are, but I worked with somebody. It wasn't you. I worked with somebody, and I was just I came home after rehearsals, and Rachel said to me, "How was it?" And it was first day, and I said, "I don't think I'm up to this," and just because of the intensity, the good intensity of which he worked. And it was just everything that came out of his mouth was just so impressive and just so on it. And I just thought, if I can be anything like that, I'll be absolutely fine. And I've never been anything like that. I've just been the guy in the corner that cracks jokes occasionally.
I need to know what this was now. You can't. I want to know what that was and who it was.
Well, it doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't matter because I need to avoid working with this person. So that
No. I see what you mean. Brilliant actor, and a lovely guy.
That's the worst. That is the worst.
Intensity, which, just really talented and works constantly, obviously. But yeah. So anyway, come on, Matt. What's your favourite moment?
Yeah, is his favourite moment of something I've been in, or like just?
Do you? Just an favourite industry moment?
Joe Gill said that he saw the Millennium Falcon. That was his moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, Joe Gill. Yeah, he was filming at Pinewood for Emmerdale, of all things, and he walked into a hangar and he lifted up this thing, and it was the Millennium Falcon.
Oh,
it's not bad, is it?
Yeah, I mean that's a nice one.
Awesome, isn't
That's great. Yeah. I can't tell that.
Yeah.
No. I mean, nicest moment. Most recently, probably when we were doing Mother Courage a couple of years ago, was, I mean, that whole experience, that was just lovely. Every bit of it, which honestly, I don't think I could say about anything else I've ever worked on. Like 100%, all of it has been great, to the point where now I look back and think, that old adage of, if you can't spot the prick in the room,
it's you.
Yeah, I have that feeling about it. Like, I just think everyone was lovely. Every moment of it seemed great. So everyone else must be kind of retelling the story, going, well, it would have been great if Matt wasn't.
Or you were all pricks.
Yeah, well.
And having spoken to most of you and knowing most of you, I think you were all pricks.
Oh, no. I mean, I definitely, without doubt, at least two of the members of that cast, I just think are almost saintly. Like, so generous and, just really humble and really talented. And, it was just, every bit of it was great. And nobody pulled rank. It wasn't, it just felt like a proper ensemble cast. Yeah.
Well, you're certainly not the first person to come in here and say that about that show. So, it must be true. Yeah, must be true. Good. All right then. So just before we get onto the big one about the industry, sticking with you, Matt, how many toilet rolls did you have in the house at the height of the pandemic?
18. But we generally we've got, there's 5 of us, and like one of our boys, one of the twins, seems to go about 10 times a day. Point where we don't know whether he's got some sort of problem. So there's always a fair supply.
18 is middling. I think that's all right.
That's like it's just 2 9-packs. It wasn't like we went out and stockpiled it.
No.
Yeah,
I'll tell you something though. It's been a fair while since we've had a plug for Who Gives a Crap.
Who Gives a Crap? Yeah.
Still want their sponsor,
isn't it? We were hoping they were going to sponsor us at one point. Everybody was going to Who Gives a Crap.
Yeah, we got 5,000 because I subscribed to Who Gives a Crap every week, and we're like, Jesus.
Yeah, I know people who subscribed and have got like boxes and boxes of toilet roll now.
Yeah, fair enough. Anita, how many are we talking?
Yeah, we were about 18, 2 packs of 9. Get those 9 packs from Aldi.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing more. You don't need anymore.
You don't need any more. It could be argued you don't need 18, quite frankly. But
good to be safe.
We do. In a week, we probably do.
Oh, bloody hell, fire.
Rich.
Yeah. God, probably. I reckon 10 days we probably get through that.
Does Lee do all your cooking?
Yeah, absolutely. Get that slow cooker on.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Right. So, Anita, then let's talk about the industry. Hopes and fears, and what do we reckon?
Yeah. Well, I'm ever the optimist. I always have been. I'm just that way inclined. So I hope that. I know it will get better. Actually, I just know, because I think that as creatives we are a resilient bunch of people, and that will rally around each other. I hope people will support each other. I hope people will carry on with that sense of solidarity. That's the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that we're good at evolving as individuals. I think creatives we're used to that ever-changing landscape, because we're always quite unsure of what's happening. So I think that we've got that on our side, and we can use that to change things. And I hope things just become a little bit more inclusive. And I think that hopefully some really interesting new ventures will come out of it as well. I'm seeing some brilliant things from companies and how they're managing to take things online and doing things down telephones. I think Stoot Theatre. I think Sophie Hatfield at Stoot, she's doing storytelling down the phone to people. I think that's just amazing. So I think it's going to take time, but I think we'll get through it, and I think we'll learn a lot, and we'll be better at the end of it.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. We'll keep it optimistic. Yeah. I'm not even going to say. But what are you worried about? I'm not going to do that.
Do you know what? I'm not worried, actually. I don't really worry about anything, to be fair. I think that I think you just have to take every day as it comes and see what comes up and address it as it hits you. That's the way I work. So I think that everybody else works the same way I work. Not necessarily, but it does all right for me. So and I think it's a nice way to live without being in fear all the time, because fear, as much it is frightening, and I feel a bit empty by it all at the minute. I think we have to hold on to something, and I think we're all very clever and we're all very creative, and I think look at the things that you've done with this. I think there are ways in which we can work, so we just have to find those ways and make it happen. I certainly think there are lots of people out there that will do that, and that do that. Been doing that for a long, long time. And you're absolutely right, actually, about the fact that we're used to living like this anyway. We're used to going months and months without any work or whatever. So I'm sure it will be fine. Fair enough. Matt, what have you got to add? But what I would like to ask you first of all is, we went to the theatre, didn't we?
I don't know. Did we, Lee?
Yeah, we went to the theatre. Yeah, we went to the theatre on Monday evening, and went to see Beckett's Craps Last Tape at the Playhouse. So it's good that theatre's getting back, that we're able to go and watch stuff. That's good. What are your thoughts? You don't have to tell me the thoughts of the play, Matt, but what are your thoughts on the industry?
It ties in. It ties in because I do want to be optimistic about it. I'd hoped that it would become more inclusive, and that theatres would recognise that maybe they need to pay more attention to producing work that lots of people want to see. That is genuinely inclusive. I still think there is a lot of snobbery in theatre, and I still think that exists in the programming. And for me, and it is personal taste, but for me, like watching that the other night, I did think, I said it to you after that, like, who is this for? Because I imagine that a lot of actors might have found it interesting, and I'm sure the people working on it found it interesting to work on it. But if my wife had been sat watching it, I think she'd have she'd have been more bothered that she'd wasted 14 quid. And that's not to say like she doesn't watch other theatre because she loves the theatre, but there's just certain stuff that she'll like turn to me and go, this is just for actors. This is for the theatre to pat themselves on the back for doing it. And that's not to say that piece in particular was, but it felt to me like this is not inclusive. This is exclusive theatre. This is theatre for theatre types. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I hope industry-wise, I hope it becomes more inclusive, and that might have just been like their one indulgence for the whole program for the season. You know, might have just happened to see the one thing that wasn't necessarily the most inclusive thing. No, I'm bothered that I'm being really honest about it.
No. And I think you're absolutely, you know that I agree 100%. I left there thinking I just don't know who it's for. I'm not sure what the point is, and that maybe it wasn't for me, and therefore that's why I didn't get what it was for, which is fine. I thought there was some, like I said to you before, I thought there's some nice things that happened, but I think I struggle with watching theatre anyway when. If I'm not gripped from the first 5 minutes, then I start thinking technical because I'm not looking, I'm not involved in the story anymore. And that could be an actor thing, I don't know, a creative thing. But I found myself looking up at the sound box and the lighting box, and I caught myself doing it and thought, what are you doing? You just get involved in what's going on. And it is a worry. It's a worry that we're sort of going to just produce stuff. Get back to the theatres opening, and we're just going to have this sort of stream of theatre for the sake of having.
Yeah, I think people have been fairly disparaging about, particularly recently with pantos being cancelled. Get a lot of actors being really dismissive about it, like, oh well, it's only panto. Like, well, that pays for some theatres to exist, and people love it. Like, don't be so snobby. People love it.
That's how you learn. That's where you take your kids, and that's where they become in. But that's where I started my theatre.
Yeah, likewise, yeah.
And I think I do have a worry actually, because I was looking at some programming.
We've ground her down. I know.
It's cynical. I know. I knew you'd get there eventually. That optimism just beat it out of me. I'd seen some programming, and you're right, Matt, about, and one of the things that I was thinking of, not just in terms of what the production was, is that I really hope that to get bums back on seats, it doesn't just become names travelling around the country, and that which I've seen already, and I do appreciate that they've got to get some revenue in, but it can't just be about that. I do worry about, how actors are going to filter into that and how they're going to exist. If that's going to be the way, at least probably for a year or so, where does that leave us? So that is a big concern when it comes to that. So I think theatres do have to consider what's going on, but also make sure that they're still employing good actors, not just names, good actors.
Well, it will be interesting. Am I right in saying that the guidelines for the funding get released on Friday, or is it Monday, when companies and stuff will learn, this big fund that's there, will learn whether they're going to get any help or not. I saw a tweet from my old boss, Mr. Pugh, who is obviously a big commercial theatre producer, and he tweeted, I think it was today or yesterday, saying he'd spoken to 2 independent producers who have already decided to just shut up shop and leave the industry, and he suspected that there will be some more once this funding is released to see who gets it, because we're still having this debate about what the crown jewels are, aren't we? We're going to protect the crown jewels. Well, what does that mean? Yeah. Well, we know what it means. Well, we fear we know what it means, but yeah.
What do you think that means, though? What do you see as that?
I see it as the big organisations. I think Opera North will be fine. I think as much as the National will be fine. The Globe will be fine. I'm not saying it won't be hard. You know, they've already had. You know, the RSC are going into negotiations with their staff, aren't they, this week? I think.
Yeah, saw that.
You know, so, and there is. I fear we will lose theatres, but I think the establishment will be okay. And actually, I think in many respects, the smaller companies, you know, your Red Ladders, your Slung Lows, will be okay because this is what they do.
Yeah.
But it's those in the middle that are going to Leeds Playhouse. You know, they obviously it will be hard because they can't open up and can't get bums on seats in a massive theatre, same as you know the Crucible or whatever. But I think they will be fine in the long run. They'll survive. But I worry about small. You know where I do my panto, which is a tiny little theatre in Barnsley, and you know. How are they? 200 seats? No chance. Absolutely no chance with social distancing. Are they going to survive? You know, without panto, which supplies them. You know, they take a couple of hundred grand a year for the panto, which sees them through the year. Yeah. What happens to them? You know, and that's what I worry about, and that's what I think. You know, the crown jewels, and the crown jewels also include things like the National Gallery and the stuff like that, which is fine, but it's suddenly that pot becomes smaller and smaller and smaller as you spread out, and you know all the graphic bloody designers that are going to get a load of money as well. You know what I mean? Money for all the road.
They get money for nothing. There's a software package, I'm sure, just does it all for them now.
Yeah, it will do.
There's no
clip art.
Clip art, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, if that's true, and I've done all the graphic design for this channel, I think I might get some.
No.
Yeah.
If you get a sponsor, you'll get some. Yeah.
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 Do you know what I was thinking as well? Is considering Rhys Dinsdale, former guest, has gone off and done his live show.
Reese's Pieces.
Yeah. We should do this live.
Sure.
What, in a theatre?
Yeah.
Who's gonna come?
I don't know. How many people are in out? There's seven watching live. They'll come.
Yeah. Well, how many did they have in the other night for craps load of craps?
Well, it wasn't full, was it? It was a Monday night, I suppose. It wasn't full.
No, well, it was sold
20?
out.
20, do you think?
Yeah, maybe. 20, 25.
We could get 20 people.
Just family.
Yeah.
I'll bring the kids.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
You can't drop
quarter
the
of the audience.
The kids, though.
No, that's true. I'll tell you something. I went to go see Tennant, not Neil Tennant from Pet Shop Boys. That's half the audience. Just don't know who that is. I went to see Tenet the other day, and there was only me in there, and it was great.
Was that Cineworld?
That was Showcase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they do the X Plus better than Cineworld.
I'd pay extra money to sit in a cinema on my own. I love it.
Yeah, I did. I remember years ago going to see Man of Steel, and I was on my own, and it was great. And then I asked the person on the door, and I was like, how many's in? And they were like, you. I'm like, okay. And they were like, you're the first person in here, full stop today, because I went to one of the early showings.
Years and years ago, like, I went to see, and this is back probably end of my student days, around about then. I went to see The Matrix on my own. And again, similar thing, like midday showing or something. There was nobody else in there. So I thought, I'm going to make the most of this. And because it had a centre aisle, I thought...
Whoa, where's this going? I
stayed close. But right. I just thought, I'm just going to sit on the floor. Just going to, like, lounge it out on the floor.
Why not?
The second I got down there, some usher came in the door. Sorry, mate, you can't stay there. It's a fire exit.
Oh, you're looking around going...
There's no one else in here. So then I just spent the rest of the time sat on a seat thinking, oh, this is crap. I can't even sit on the floor.
So then you got naked and really showed him.
Yeah. And that's when I started rubbing myself on the seats and
brilliant
left my mark.
I made a right dinner with my Maltesers. Made like proper getting into it, opening them up, Russell.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Like like a Saturday matter front row.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Right, okay, last question then. And it sort of leads on to this actually, Matt, so I'll stay with you. What's your vice? What has been your vice during lockdown?
It's not rubbing myself on seats.
I didn't say that. You did.
Yeah, my fault. I need to stop saying things, you see.
Yeah.
Stop speaking.
That's my fault. I say a lot of things like that.
Stop talking. I don't know. I've drunk more. I've probably drunk more since lockdown.
How much more? What are we talking?
Oh, like 90 units a week. What? No, probably. Probably. I'm probably having like not that much more. But what I would say is like before lockdown, I could pretty much guarantee I would have 3 pints a week, and it would be on a Monday night, the Red Shed in Wakefield, and that's all the drinking I'd do. But then, once I've got
why a Monday night?
Just because of meeting up with a group of friends on a Monday night at the Red Shed.
Don't pretend you've got friends.
I love the
people that also go to the Red Shed. That's
right. Fair enough.
I went to the Red Shed and there were people there.
Barman.
Yeah, and me.
Doorman.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. It's company. It's not 2 is company.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
3 is crowd.
So we went from 3 pints a week to what?
I probably have 1 or 2 beers a night, maybe now. Right. So from 3 pints a week to 14 pints a week. Well, it's not pints, is it? Because it's stupid little cans now. Stupid little cost you £4.
You don't have to buy that.
No, I know, but yeah.
You could have tap water in a blue can.
I could, yeah. I could drink that, or I could just buy a more expensive one and dilute it myself.
All right, with your arty ways. And do you know what? He's come on here. He's gone on about expensive beer, ballet dancing. Good God! It's like
He did say
what's wrong with
Becky.
ballet dancing?
not only that, he lives in Wakefield. You're not fooling anyone, pal. You're not fooling anyone.
Come to Wakefield.
Okay.
Listen, Red Shed. The Red Shed is the best place to drink.
It is. I used to love going in the Red Shed back in the day.
Is that in Wakefield then? The Red Shed.
Yeah, it's the Labour Club in Wakefield. Yeah.
I used to gig there quite a lot back in the 90s. It's great.
And just to make it even worse, Lee, I occasionally go there to listen to poetry.
No, you don't. Honestly. I'm going to drag you out when it starts again. Get your heart out.
I find that really hard to listen to performance poetry. I find it makes me like squirm.
Yeah,
but that's what's great about it, because you flip between, like they do this thing where they
because it's also shit.
They'll have 4 acts on, right? Well, I say 4 acts. They'll have 3 acts and then like kind of open mic to start with. Open mic bit is like you just sit there, watching the crash.
Do you do it?
No, I've never done it yet.
I
should really, because I feel a bit bad that I go along and I enjoy other people's performances, but don't ever get up and do it. So I will. One day I will. But and then the second act is usually like one of their local poets. There are 3 blokes that run it, so they do some of their own poetry, and then they'll have somebody decent on, like somebody published. I'm doing a bit, and then they have like a musical break. So they've usually invited a decent local Yorkshire musician, somebody known. They have a bit of a musical interlude, and then they have a really good poet on. And I'm telling you, if you hate poetry, whoever they have had on for their last act has always been absolutely outstanding.
Okay.
There was one bloke on, and this is my favourite performance poet ever.
Just before you tell this story, Matt, I'm sorry. Yeah. Just before you tell it, first of all, make it quick. Second of all, I'm not listening to the poetry. I'm listening to you talk about the poetry, and I am so bored.
Oh, goodness. Right. Well, I'm not
just encourage the guests to be entertainingly brilliant.
I was going to share with you the best piece of performance poetry there's ever been, and now, Lee, you will never know. And because of you, Lee, nobody will know.
Well, I think that's a blessing, possibly.
Do you know, I love a bit of poetry.
Next time it's up and running, you all have to go.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Plus it's cheap beer.
Thank Christ for lockdown.
£2 a pint.
Yeah.
£2 a pint?
Oh.
I'm there. Yeah.
I only know 2 poets, though. I know the guy off Look North, and I know Mr. G, who used to do Russell Brand's show. He was actually a lovely bloke,
Right.
I've spoken to him a couple of times.
Yeah. Fair enough. We've got some poetry books up here somewhere. I don't read them anymore.
Yeah, your A-level GCSE English language.
Yeah,
literature.
Bit of Milton up there.
Bit of Wilfred Owen.
I might start reading some poetry on the show, or not. Anita, what's your vice? What's got you through?
What's got me through is booze as well. It's up there, isn't it? Booze and cake, basically.
Booze and cake.
Yeah, booze and
you
cake.
did say you'd been doing a bit of baking. What we talking?
Yeah, well, I now do, because I'm quite good at it, a good chocolate orange brownie.
Oh, hello.
You need 2 boxes of chocolate orange. So
now,
expensive brownie.
Now you're talking the kind of poetry that I like.
Exactly.
Don't fucking rhyme.
Poetry doesn't have to rhyme, you Philistine.
Good poetry does.
Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, eating a lot of cake, so there's nothing else to do, and it stops me from drinking. So
when you say chocolate orange, you're buying full on Terry's chocolate orange, or not Terry's now, whatever they are.
They are Terry's, I think.
Are they? They're just not made in York.
Not made by them, but it's still 2 Terry's chocolate oranges you need.
So how many biscuits? How many
brownies?
pieces?
You get about 12. So you use one of them in it, and then you break the others up and place them on top. I mean, they are just very nice.
The chat room is incandescent with rage because they want to know what the best piece of performance poetry is.
No. We're going to know it. No. That's going to be my secret note to the grave.
Listen,
to take out on Lee tunes.
Let's be frank, Matt. I've let you off the hook there because I have let you off the hook. You cannot say something like the best piece of performance poetry you've ever heard.
Yeah, the best piece I've heard. It might not be the best in the world ever, but I have a limit.
That's what you said.
I said the best piece of performance poetry I've ever heard.
I haven't said that. You only hear it at the Red Shed in Wakefield, so you know what I mean? I don't think we're setting the bar particularly high. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I'm going to say, sat there in Leeds' third kit. He's hardly a CV for judging.
Is that what that is?
Did you notice?
I think that's this year's third kit, isn't it?
It certainly is, my friend.
I thought it was like a tie-dye experiment.
Advertising. What's it?
Oh, yeah, there's that badge they're going to have just for this year.
Yeah.
Let's get on to football now.
I don't think so. Right, listen, it's now 9:20, and you've been keeping me talking for too long. Because we've got an early morning, haven't we, Matt?
Yeah.
Matt and I have got to be in sunny Immingham at 10 to 8.
10 to 8.
Oh, yeah, that's right, early.
You filming?
No, we're doing...
pretending.
What is it? Well, it's immersive theatre, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like part show, part demonstration, part workshop.
Yeah, corporate.
Yeah, it's corporate, but I'm like the performance bit of it. Yeah. It's actually a performance for once.
Oh yeah, no, it's a proper immersive performance. Yeah. It's good, and it's work.
Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, but anyway.
Quick hello to Sarah, who said hello earlier, but we'd said hello to about 5 people, so I thought I'd wait till now.
Hiya, Sarah.
Otherwise, it'll just be saying hello to people show.
Sarah's one of our key workers, and she's an angel. And when we got kicked off YouTube, which we did, we're back on now. surreptitiously. But I lost all of the
isolation
playlist, and it was Sarah that told me what was on it because she listened to it, runs and her dog walks and what have you. So thanks, Sarah. Thank you. Listen, I'm going to let you go because I've already kept you for too long. Thank you so much indeed. Anita, I will be in touch because I need some accent work doing.
Hey, former Q.
That's it. You know, I'm here. You know where I am.
Are you going to do some beat poetry in a Welsh accent, Lee?
Yeah.
He's knocked poetry. He's knocked ballet. He's knocked the play outside.
To say he hosts like a cultural show. Do you know what I mean?
Top.
All right. I'll tell you what then, Mike. Here we go. Right. For next week, because we've got a live show next week. For next week, I want you to bring some poetry along. Contribute to the creativity. I'll bring a piece of poetry as well, and you bring a piece of poetry.
All right, if you're going to do it, then yeah, I'm going to say, because in terms of contributing to the show, you mean the guy who does all the running of the camera, does all the design.
Don't contribute. I'm saying you said about the creativity aspect. So let's do. We'll both have a piece of poetry.
All right.
We're watching that one.
It can't just be a set of lyrics from Sutra Kasuna or whatever that band is that you like.
Sutra Kasuna.
Whatever they're called.
Sutra Kasuna.
What are they called?
Enter Shikari.
That's them. That's the ones. No, I'm not just having lyrics from them.
Sutra Kasuna. I'm going to get that domain name now. And I don't know what it is, but that's going to be brilliant. That's going to be the next big thing.
Right, both of you, thank you so much for joining. It's lovely to see you and to talk to you, and thank you for indulging us in our silliness.
Thank you very much.
I wish you both very, very well, and I'll speak to you both very, very soon. So feel free to log off, go do whatever you need to do, and see you later.
Bye.
Listen to you, Anita. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Oh, they've gone.
Yeah. Love that.
That was quite a nice one. Sarah's just said that. That's really cheered her up.
Oh, you're welcome, Sarah. Thanks for being with us.
I'm gonna share something really quickly.
Okay, go.
I'm just gonna drop it straight onto the screen.
Yeah.
There we go. That is the picture. You can't see it, Lee. You'll have to watch back. But that's the picture of Rishi Sunak when he looks about 4'10".
Oh, hang on. Let me just leave it up for a minute. Just leave it up for a second, because what I'm gonna do is just jump onto the channel.
He genuinely looks like he's like somebody's son, and they've just brought him along so he could pose with the red box.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He looks. It looks like a puppet.
Yeah,
he
looks like his own spitting image puppet.
Yeah. Unless they're just incredibly tall.
I don't think so. Have you seen the state of him? Tanya just said he's the same height as her.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Which is what? How tall are you, Tanya? Because I bet he's the same size as me. I bet he's about 5'7". It's just that when I stand.
Sarah's 4'11". Wow.
You're not. No, you're not. Tanya, you're not 5'0", are you? I'm having a conversation with 5'1". That extra inch is important. Fair enough. And he's the same size as you, so he's a little fella. Bless him.
Yeah.
That's why they've put him in, though. You see, they've put him in because they're thinking, oh, people will feel sorry for him because he's like a little child.
Yeah, he's the work experience.
Yeah.
Which is what it feels like, because, I mean, without getting too political, that's the reason why Sajid Javid left, is because they took all the, basically the people who run that particular part, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, they took all those people and moved them into number 10, under control of Dominic Cummings, and the Chancellor effectively is just a spearhead, just a puppet for number 10.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Happy days. Listen, let's not talk about football, although you must be quite happy generally.
I'm happy with the results recently. I'm as angry as normal with the board and their behaviour, because in the transfer window where we sold our young, and to say the nickname of West Ham is the Academy of Football, we, having, players like Glenn Johnson, Joe Cole, and all those players throughout the years, who have come through the academy. Say we sold one of our brightest, Grady Diangana, to a relegation rival for 20 million quid, have spent £4 million on releasing Jack Wilshere, and sold another academy prospect for 900 grand. Somebody who we need, we need bodies in midfield, and he'd have quite happily sat on the bench for us for a year to see the end of his contract. So in effect, we're 900 grand up when we should have spent 20 million. So I'm as annoyed as ever with West Ham, but results are good. We've just got 16 outfield players now for the rest of the season.
No, there's still 10 days or so left of the internal market. You'll get some players, don't worry.
Yeah, Craig Dawson, piss off.
You'll be fine. You'll be all right this year. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right. Listen, I need to go because I've got to go to bed.
All right. Good night.
Good night. So yeah, we're back next week. Another live show next week. And who have we got on next week?
I don't
know. I can't remember off the top of my head.
You never tell us anywhere.
Yeah, I don't, do I? Do I? We have an actor and a writer coming on next week. And I'm very much looking forward to that.
Excellent.
Because the writer has written a play essentially about the last Down syndrome child in the world, and it's a play about his play that's quite close. I've not seen it, but it's an issue that's very close to my heart, and I'm very excited to talk about that.
Good stuff. So that's it. So that's another issue of the Ghost Life Social done with. Thank you to everybody who's watched us live. It's always nice to see everybody in the chat, so thank you very much for joining in. Don't forget, if you are watching and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Hit the notification bell, all that malarkey, because it really helps us out. And we still haven't got back to our subs from before. We got Lee's just sent a like to remind me to like the video, and it just flashed up on the screen at the side. So we haven't yet returned to our previous subscriber levels from when YouTube deleted us for being politically and socially aware, and they were being shits. But yeah, another thing I learned is if you say COVID or coronavirus, YouTube picks it up and you don't get promoted. So we need to stop saying COVID and coronavirus.
Brilliant. So just say a few words. What COVID and what?
Coronavirus.
Okay, I better not say
COVID.
COVID.
We've just got to say the circumstances in which we live, and namby-pamby talk around it like that. We'd already said it tonight, so it didn't really matter. But yeah.
Nice work.
Thanks very much. Join us live next week, 8:00, usual places, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We were on LinkedIn, but they kicked us off. LinkedIn.
Why did they kick us off?
Because when I filled out the form and said, we're going to do this, that, and the other, because you have to ask permission.
Right.
I think they've basically just thought you're taking piss. You're not quite a business savvy networking thing, which I think we are, but bollocks to them. Nobody watched it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm going to roll the titles.
Okay. See you later.
See you later. Thank you.